Hello, everyone, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the March meeting of the Murphysboro Park and Recreation Commission. And in starting off, we'll ask Councilman Rick LaLance for our prayer and pledge, please, sir.
All right. If you'll bow your heads with me. Lord, thank you for today. We thank you for every day. Thank you for this city and the employees and everything that they do to make this a great place to live. Lord, we hope that you'll be with us in our decisions today. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman LaLance. And you have before you a copy of our minutes from last meeting. And if you'll take a second and look at those, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved. Move for approval.
I hear that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. The motion is approved. And Councilman LaLance reminded me, I did say March meeting, and that's what I wrote down. This is April. So April meeting of the Murphysboro Parks and Recreation Department. So first order of new business, Angela, we've got you and Kevin talking to us about our professional service agreement.
You bet. Master planning is something that we have been speaking of a lot and are very excited to bring to you today. In August of 2017, the City of Murphysboro adopted the Murphysboro 2035, which is that citywide comprehensive master plan. One of the critical strategies identified for parks, recreation, and open space was, I'm going to read it if I can. It is critical that the Parks and Recreation Department develop a Parks and Recreation master plan in order to ensure the continued improvement and development of park facilities and services for a planning horizon of generally 20 years. The master plan will provide a guide for officials making decisions about recreation needs and for citizens interested in this city's commitment to the provision of recreation services. That's something that we have a lot of value in and a lot of hope for. Also last fall, you might remember me, we met with each of you to discuss the scope and goals as we move forward in the development of that Parks and Recreation master plan to see what you would like to see as a part of that scope. And earlier this year, we issued a request for qualifications to identify the consultant to work with us to prepare that plan. The plan includes that long-range vision, a lot of research, a lot of public involvement, and an input from this group that is very, very important to us. The team that's selected through that RFQ is Reagan Smith and Associates. It also includes some folks, and I'll let Kevin tell you more about that. Kevin is Kevin Gunther is with Reagan Smith and Associates, and will serve as that project manager for the team. We're very pleased with the process that Reagan Smith has laid out. I feel like it meets those goals and expectations in that scope that you shared with us, the ideas and goals that we have as a staff as well on how we can best serve this community. So if I can introduce Kevin and let him tell us a little bit more.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Very pleased to be here this afternoon. This is something very near and dear to my heart and also to the heart of Reagan Smith, and I'm sure to the entire city. Just the opportunity to look at really the next 20 years in a more detailed level of how parks and recreation will be an important part of the city. As Ms. Jackson had mentioned, we do have, I think, a very strong team that we've assembled as part of the Reagan Smith group. Part of that is Equinox Environmental out of Asheville, Carolina. And they bring that creative national view. I think that's going to be nice to have kind of some fresh eyes from that outside national expertise. We also have Randall Gross, Economic Development, as part of our team. He's going to look at this very much from the economic side of things in detail. And of course, we're also working with Griggs and Maloney, who have in-depth understanding of what's going on here locally, and have done a lot of work with Parks and Recreation in the past. And, we think this is more than just an opportunity to look at recreation facilities and programs. I think part of what we try to identify in working with the department and with your goals is looking at an evaluation of a long-term operations and maintenance requirements of the city. We want not only to have great facilities, we want to make sure we can maintain and operate those facilities at a high level. There's also an opportunity to look at this, from not just the standpoint of the facilities themselves, but how to connect facilities, how to connect Parks and Recreation to everybody's life in the city. So it's more than just a matrix or a chart. This is about connecting people and making sure that there's opportunity for every resident of every age to somehow connect to our Parks and Recreation opportunities. And the last thing I'll mention is just we are looking a little bit outside of just the city boundaries. We want to consider some regional trends. We want to consider some ways that we think Murphysboro can evaluate what's going on regionally and just the kind of local trends that will affect things long term. And at the same time, those things that make Murphysboro unique, there's a lot of uniqueness to the city. We want to make sure and capture those things in not only our vision, but our implementation recommendations. So with that, I'll be happy to be available for any questions or further discussion you like.
Any questions for Kevin or Angela? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the professional service agreement with Reagan Smith Associates.
I move approval of the professional services. I've had the opportunity to work with them in another venue, and we're just thrilled to have this opportunity for Parks and Rec.
Great.
Before I second that, I do want to ask one question. Did you say, and I was reading, kind of mixed in with listening, that there will be a period of time through this process where we'll talk about input and we'll give input, the public will give input and all that. That's just all part of this whole process, right?
Yes, sir. A part of this process will be them leading what that input looks like, making sure to gather that to really involve the community. I know one of the recent studies that we've done with the Town Creek, with the Highland Project, really the energy that came out of a lot of those public meetings was really impressive, a good model for us on how to gather relevant and exciting and positive information, really looking for what the community needs. I think that'll be absolutely part of this 9 to 12 month process.
The one comment I'll make to you is that, we in any of these things, what we've learned, I think, over the last couple of years here is that, we need to make sure that whatever we do come up with is feasible. That we don't want to come up with a master plan that's got no chance of ever happening. It's easy. The 2035 plan said, well, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. You just can't wave a magic wand and make it happen. So that's part of the thing that I would say we need to be focused on is, that it needs to be feasible and we need help figuring out how to do it. And that's you. So second.
Yes, sir.
And Eddie, before we vote on that, Angela or Kevin, it doesn't matter, I guess Angela, would you explain, just so the public understands, the difference between the study that was done for Parks and Recreation for the 2035 plan versus the current plan that's being proposed?
I will do my best. Feel free to chime in. I think with the 2035, looking at the city as a whole, looking at that overall big view of where we are as the city. This plan is going to be a closer look. It's going to get into what really makes us tick, what is the specific directions that we need to go. It will include some conceptual aspects, but it will also include very practical, implementable, is that a word? Aspects as well.
Yeah, and I'll ditto what Rick said. I think it's important that we come back with a plan, but it's also important that we come back with a feasible plan. And there is a budget that we operate within as far as the city's concerned, and we need a plan that's realistic as far as monetary reasons. So to say, it's easy to say we need 28 additional softball fields or we need 50 additional soccer fields, but there has to be funding. So and there's not funding for that currently. So it does have to come back with a realistic understanding that there is a limit to. It's not the sky's the limit. Let's come back with a realistic plan that explains to us what the future is, that provides for the need yet is responsible to the taxpayer.
Since we started this process and have been working with Reagan Smith, we feel really confident in the different iterations of the scope, and we've been meeting regularly about that. And I think we've honed in on a scope that really addresses what you're saying, is we want something practical, functional, and something we can really use. And I think Kevin and his crew have gone back and looked over it several times, and we feel really confident that that's what we're going to give you.
Good.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? There are none. So motion passes. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you,
I'll
Mr.
ditto
Miller.
Dr. Bonner's excitement about what the future holds for us.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about Burrow Beach and some policies there. Kyle?
Thank you. As we all know, the summer is rapidly approaching, so we've been taking the time to review a lot of our operational procedures and have a couple items we want to get approval on. The first would be our group visits. Historically, we've done group visits in the past, and we want to keep that going on. We just want to kind of strengthen the structure and add some clarity to the reservation process. We've designed a group visit request form, and on that it lays out everything required to get a group visit scheduled. The keys to that being we define a group as any organization of 15 or more patrons, and for safety reasons we want to cap all of our group visits at 25 patrons. They also have to have pre-approval 72 hours in advance, maintain a ratio of 1 chaperone per 7 children, and all the children have to be 8 years and older. Secondly would be our gazebo rentals. In years past we've rented those out, but just due to our popularity and the increase in crowds, we want to stop renting those out because we think that'll give us the chance to better handle those crowds. We would also be able to increase our capacity at the front end of the day and get more people in earlier. That would allow us to have less lines at the front end. Sorry, I lost my spot. And any fiscal impact would be minimally impacted at all just by getting those extra people in earlier. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them for you.
Questions for Kyle?
Explain to me what a group means. I mean, are we talking private parties? Are we talking about reserving the whole thing when you say groups? Because 25 or less, and that limit.
Not a private party. It's more so like daycares, day camps, church groups, stuff of that nature, where they're trying to bring in a lot of children and not necessarily have the adequate supervision needed to safely be around a pool.
Okay, so it's not renting out the entire pool.
No.
Okay.
We're going to keep that process just the same.
If you can see what Kyle's done is honed in group visits when they're available. It's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. just Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's periods where it's not as busy. We won't have anything on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So.
Good changes.
Let's make sure this information is on all your, I guess, your media, social pages, Facebook, Twitter accounts, and let this be known, because I think there was been a few incidents that, a large group has came to the pool and thought they could get in. But I think the communication is just the key, so you know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. We already have a statement in our Rec Connection magazine advertising that we need to have all group visits scheduled in advance, and then as soon as this is approved, we'll have it put out on Facebook and possibly our website.
Do I have a motion that we accept these changes?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All in favor of?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Next item for new business is some consideration for the Adult Ultimate Disc League, or a change there. Hey, John.
Good afternoon. Yeah, we're looking to start an Adult Ultimate Disc League. We currently are entering our 3rd season into our youth league, and many of our participants have are looking for new places to play as they age out of our system. The new league would be a $250 fee per team, and they would play at the same location, same time, and they wouldn't require much else other than a employee on staff just to keep track of them. And that's about it.
Questions for John?
Point of clarification is, for my generation, is adult ultimate the new term for Frisbee or
Correct.
something?
They try not to use the term Frisbee as it's a trademark for the company.
All right, thank you.
Sorry.
Since this is not a, no, this is ultimate Frisbee.
Ultimate Frisbee, yes.
Right?
It's football with a Frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not disc golf.
No, not disc golf.
I thought it was disc golf.
They, like I said, they shy away from the word
Kids play
Frisbee.
disc golf.
Since this is not a, what we would consider a popular sport, we all have not grown up with disc leagues. How would an adult team be put together? I struggle with the idea of, like, I want to play.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get 14 people together to do it, or 10 people, or 8 people to do it.
The league is a 7-on-7. The teams will get their own teams if they need. It is actually a very popular sport with the younger generation, college students. We have many of our players from our past years have asked, hey, can we play? Can we start a team? And if they can't get a team together, we'll do a free agent list and we'll put a team together for them.
So you have John, explain that process, the free agent list.
Yeah.
Free agent, if you want to come play, you come tell me, hey, I would like to play. And we'll put you on a list, and if we get enough players for that particular free agents, we'll put them on a team for them.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, they can join another team at any time, or if they get enough people of their own. We do it much like we do our adult softball league in that regard. Teams get their own players at their own will. If they can't, we'll help them out.
Very good. Do I have a motion that we approve this adult ultimate disc league?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor of?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passes. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Sign me up.
Sign him up. We're ready.
I can have a commission team.
Knee braces.
Whoa, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, next, Trevor Hutchinson's going to talk to us about the Youth Racquetball League.
Good afternoon, members of the Murphysboro Parks and Recreation Commission Board. Today I'll be presenting to the Commission a new youth sport program for the Murphysboro Parks and Recreation Department. That program will be the start of the Youth Racquetball League. Currently we have an adult league that's doing fairly well, and we have a lot of people interested kind of in a youth racquetball league. Taking advantage of available racquetball court space at current facilities and using city employees as well as volunteer as coaches, we can create a fun and functional program for kids from all demographics and walks of life. A little bit about the program. Ages for the league will be 8 to 17 years old. The league fee would be $25, but we'd also like to do financial assistance for that league. The $25 of financial assistance will cover the cost of rackets, balls, safety glasses, which you have to wear, league T-shirts, as well as all the practices and games. Practices and games would take place at Patterson Park Community Center in conjunction with their youth programs that they do there as well. I've kind of been working a little bit with some of the youth programmers and kind of creating a league that's open to all kids from the city of Murphysboro, but involving a lot of the kids that are at Patterson for their youth programs as well. The league would start in the summer and run into early fall. At this time, I'm seeking approval from the Commission for the start of the Youth Racquetball League and the $25 league fee attached. If you have any questions, though, please let me know.
Are the 2 courts at Patterson, are they the only courts that we have?
Correct. At this time, they are the only 2 indoor courts we have.
Okay.
Do we have some capacity to grow the usership of that? I mean, with those 2 courts, are they not always used already?
They're not always use. I know Patterson, and I don't want to kind of overstep my bounds. I know Russell's here, but I know Patterson does a lot to try, like, if there's not racquetball going on, they do a lot of a new thing called volleyball, which has become fairly popular. I'm not sure to what capacity they kind of see a weekly basis on that. But with the adult racquetball league, we're getting good membership and usage during those seasons. We do a fall and a spring league, and they sign up. And we kind of create a master schedule, but they call each other and they say, hey, can you play on a Tuesday? And then through that, they'll call the Patterson facility and they say, you know, we'd like to set up a court time to play. So during the spring and the fall, my guess would be that Patterson probably sees a little bit higher number usage of those courts.
Just want to make sure we got the court space before we go building leagues, and then we don't have court space, I guess, what I was trying to get after. So,
oh, okay. Yeah, I've talked a little bit with Patterson about it, but, you know, kind of coming to them and saying, when's a time of the week that you guys don't see a high usage? A lot of those adults will go and play before they go to work, those very early morning, or, you know, it's I guess we'll have to find a happy medium to when we can get the youth without interfering with a lot of the adults that do go there and play.
Good enough. Good. I'll move for approval. Oh, you got a question?
Well, I'll just, I've played some racquetball over there. It's definitely underutilized versus over.
Gotcha.
So there's definitely, I think, a lot of capacity there. It is considered a dangerous sport. I've got a couple of people over here that likes to hit me in the back when I play racquetball with him. Just saying. Had to get that out, Nate. I'm sorry. I had to get it out.
He jumps in front of the ball.
I'm still hurting from it.
Exactly what
Goggles and body armor.
Yeah, he just jumps right in front. I don't know.
But it is a little bit of a dangerous sport, and I'm not saying it's not appropriate for kids, but I would say an 8-year-old with even a 12-year-old is a big difference. Do you have predetermined, have you looked at other leagues out there from safety issues in terms of what ages are appropriate to play against?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And, you know, not only is it kind of an assumption of an 8 to 10-year-old range as they're playing, but a lot of it, you have to take in their skill ability. You might have a kid who's never played before who is 15 years old, who potentially is swinging the racket a little bit harder, a little bit less control. So you kind of have to take those considerations as well. But we will always have city employees and or volunteers there coaching for every practice and every game. So there will always be that supervision. I've had a lot of people that play in the adult league that are really pushing for this. They want to come and they want to volunteer, and we've had some guys that have been former pros and things like that that are interested as well.
One of the things our athletic division does so well out in any sport across the board that they lead is really teaching the fundamentals first before just throwing them out there, and there won't be any exception in this. They really do a great job with, you know, any sport that we do, and I don't expect any difference in this.
Cool.
All right.
Very good. Got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passes. Good job, Trevor.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Brittany Garrett is going to tell us about a new wiffle ball league. Sounds like fun, too.
Good afternoon, Commission. I am seeking approval for a new wiffle ball league and a $25 fee associated with it. With the success of our Miracle League and the continued success of our Miracle League, we would like to open up the Miracle Field to all abilities with a wiffle ball league. Ages would be from 8 to 17. It would be an 8-week season starting in June. Basically, each week the players will come, they'll get put on a team, almost like a pickup league you would have in the backyard, but more organized. This is something that there's a trend going around where parents like to drop off, or a trend that's becoming popular, where parents like to drop off their kids, they go run errands and pick them back up. So this is a great way for them to do that. It will be played on one night during the week at the Miracle Field, and it will run 8 weeks. This is a good time. You don't have to know how to play baseball. It can be for anybody. In a great way, a little social hour or two with your friends. Any questions?
Questions for Brittany? Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Councilman LaLance is mad.
I'm kind of mad it's
You
cut,
mad
cut
over-
off
it's not
at
an adult
17.
I can see him shaking his head. And
Family, come on, your family, kids.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty neat how you're going to do the pickup approach.
Yeah, it's each week you'll be on a new team. Your friends can play together, but it'll be we'll come together each week and pick out a couple of teams, and we'll play a couple of games.
Wiffle ball's fun.
Yes.
That's all there is to it. I'll move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Thank you, Brittany. Motion passes. Good job also. Next on the agenda, Lisa Milkey. She's going to tell us a little bit, or she's going to talk to us about skin cancer screening. I think it's a month or something, but it's at Patterson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Good afternoon, board. Yes, skin cancer screening, not as fun as wiffle ball, but hopefully just as important.
Did you say equally as important?
Yeah, well,
Because it's at least as
yes, yes. So what I am hoping the board will consider today is an on-site skin cancer screening that would be hosted at Patterson Park Community Center. This would be for patrons and community members, as well as any city staff that had the opportunity to come over and have the screen conducted for them. I gave you a little bit, I know you have this in front of you, and I gave a little bit of background on how important it is for skin health, and that skin health is oftentimes overlooked when you're having a general physical or health screening. Just to look at some of these statistics, more people are diagnosed with skin cancer each year in the United States than all other cancers combined. 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70. The diagnosis and treatment of non-melanoma skin cancers in the U.S. increased by 77% between 1994 and 2014. 1 person dies of melanoma every hour, and an estimated 178,560 cases of melanoma will be diagnosed in the United States in 2018. Skin cancer is something that is very treatable if it's caught early, and that is what we're hoping to help with. I've looked at several dermatology clinics throughout the city and found that Stones River Dermatology is very involved in the community, and they are open and welcome to coming and doing a 4-hour skin cancer screening clinic that would offer a non-invasive, about 10-minute screening skin check. And what they would do basically, if somebody came in, we would have gowns available for them, but I would also encourage folks to wear shorts and a t-shirt, or if they came in and had just a specific mole or something on their skin that they wanted to have looked at. The dermatologist has a special little light that they use that helps determine if this is something that needs further looking at. And that's basically what this is. It's a preventive, proactive measure for skin health. What we're looking at is it's a Monday, May 21st from 9 to 1, a 4-hour skin screening. And we have rooms reserved that would be semi-private so that people can come in and feel that it would be a confidential screen for them. It is a free for the community. Pardon me, I'm stumbling over all my words. This is a free service that Stones River Dermatology is offering because they have, like I said, worked in the community before. They have very strong beliefs in giving back to the community. And so they have 2 dermatologists that would be coming to Patterson Park free of charge. So obviously we would not be charging for this. So in summary then, I am recommending that the Commission approve the skin cancer screen, and like I said, it's offering easy access for community members to be proactive about their skin health. If you have any questions, please ask away.
How are you planning to market this campaign? The data is really very important.
Yes, it is. So we're planning on using all of our measures, from flyers to our Facebook site, website. We have a slideshow in the lobby. We are trying to keep it small. We're not going to advertise this to the entire city of Murphysboro because we don't know how busy it will be. I actually do have a schedule prepared. The dermatologists are allowing 10 minutes per person, and we're having 2 dermatologists. So I have created a schedule that we would want people to physically schedule an appointment. So we're trying to keep it within the Patterson Park community and then open to other city employees that would be interested in coming. So, like I said, it would be our Facebook site, website, our slideshow. Word of mouth will be big within our community center itself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Questions for Lisa? All right, I think this is awesome. It's very important, and especially for being a baby boomer like myself, growing up in the sunshine, and I suffer with skin cancer too, so I know how important these screenings are, so that's awesome. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Any opposed? There are none. Motion approved. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Lisa, you're kind of still back along with Roger Brady. Is Roger here? Okay, great. And
Introduce Roger Brady.
Good afternoon, everyone. Roger
hey,
Brady.
Roger.
Yes.
So what is this, Muddy Vader?
Yes, we had a name change. We had come up with it. We were dabbling around with a couple of names, and then we, at the last minute, had a name change for it, so it didn't sound like everything else.
Yes.
So she'll go ahead and start.
What we're looking at is a 10-week obstacle course training that would prepare people for an event after the 10-week program. And it would be up to that person's decision if they would want to actually register for an event or not. But this is a 10-week training that would prepare them for an event. So in recent years, many of these obstacle course terrain races have become very, very popular. And you may have heard Warrior Dash, Spartan races, Tough Mudder. So those are just some national examples of races. So these obstacle course experiences kind of require a different type of training than just going to a Zumba class or a boxing class or even just working out at the gym. These races have become very popular also because of the camaraderie that they offer, and that's what this training would also provide. And it is about being a singular person participating, but it's also about teamwork, and that's what we want to provide with this 10-week training as well. There's a lot of climbing, throwing, lifting, jumping. I kind of have a lot of things written here for you. But what this would also do is provide an opportunity for adults to basically have what I always, and you may have heard this used a lot, an adult recess. They're outside just playing, but with a final result, a goal ending to participate in a race at the very end. This type of training does promote, like I said, teamwork, individual achievement, improved strength, speed, and overall positivity. What we've done, now if I can remember here, is it this one? There we go. Okay, so it's a little difficult to read on screen, but as a flyer, it looks very nice. So how we would promote this is taking it to the next level, Muddy Vader training. It is a 10-week program starting July 10th to September 13th. It would be a 2-day per week program, and we're trying to capture an audience of if they can work out early morning and then in the afternoon. So looking at the working population. So it would be a 7 to 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning and a 5:30 to 6:30 on a Thursday evening. This program will take place rain or shine. The object is, if you are going to participate in an actual terrain race, you will be getting wet, you might be getting muddy, and so rain or shine, we would prepare them for this. Oops. Uh-oh, I'm stuck. Will it go? There we go. Sorry about that. This next slide, sorry if it's a little hard to read, but this is just an idea of what the program would provide for any participants. We have it laid out for week by week, so each 10-week would offer the workout, so people would have an idea in advance. We have the Tuesday, Thursday laid out specifically with, for example, a warm-up. You would do squats, lunges, a different type of squat and a different type of lunge. You would do 5 rounds of that right there with Roger as the instructor. And then we have kind of a recommendation for Wednesday, and then Thursday's workout, and then a recommended Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's kind of a 7-day-a-week workout, but we're only actually getting together 2 days a week. And it is all with the intention of preparing someone if they want to actually participate in a race in September.
And a lot of the stuff, I didn't mean to interrupt her, but it can be modified for the individual person. If the person tells me something they cannot do, I can give them a modifier. They can do personal modifications. If they say I can't do a deep squat, I always have a personal modification for them based on their level of fitness. And it could be a beginner all the way to an advanced athlete. And then, I just want to reiterate what she said. It's a different protocol because you're going to be crawling. You have to climb stuff. It's almost like a bear crawl, and you're dragging things with you. So that would be some of the training programs that we do, and this would change weekly for different things as it advances. But same thing, it would also go back to where if I cannot do this, I'll give you a personal modification. And then the next screen, it shows a layout of it's a training thing that I went through basically that I kept in my memory. Tire flipping, you would do tire pulls. There is a block drag that can be done with a partner or it can be done individually. It doesn't have to be one person. I got a cone drill, bear crawl. They would be basically crawling from cone to cone, around or over. They could do, they don't even have to bear crawl. They could basically just be in a squat presentation and walk. Sandbag carry. It's going to iterate where they're going to have to carry the sandbag doing lunges or just walking across the field and back. The log carry. And then it's basically, I've drawn out the little arrows. It's like you basically would have to do this through the woods, through an obstacle, just maybe stepping over something or just walking through a certain area about 1/8 of a mile and back is what a lot of protocol falls.
This is just to give you an idea of the field layout. Again, our idea is to use Patterson Park outside, the outside area. There might be 1 or 2 occasions where Roger would request the group to meet him at
They do there's the ROTC at Siegel. They open that for a lot of the people during the training season for that we could use that. They would actually get a good look of what the obstacle would be.
Now, keeping in mind, we obviously will have waivers for people to sign.
Thank you.
And also a park queue to let us know their health level. So we will have all of that taken care of. And let's see.
The pictures.
Just to give you an idea of what we're actually preparing folks for.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. This gives you an idea of some of the races, and Roger is in several of these pictures along with a few Patterson Park patrons themselves that participated in a Tough Mudder event last summer. But you can see the crawling over walls, carrying people, flipping tires, and maybe climbing through some mud. But it's definitely an individual event as well as a team event.
Yes. Nate, is that you carrying that log?
I think that's Roger.
That's Roger. Come on now.
That's me. That was a
Thanks a lot, Councilman.
It can be a team event. This group of the 3 where I'm in the center, we were all working as a team. We ran the whole thing together. We didn't care what it took us. There was no time limit. It's just all about camaraderie, having fun, helping each other because some of the things it requires you to be as a team to get through it. And it builds the camaraderie, keep that team going because you get to have fun with it. It's like they say, it's like a recess when you're out there. And if I can add, a lot of the things, the reason we have come up with this is when I talk about it, the first thing I hear from people is they say, I don't know what to do. I don't know the training. What do I do? I would love to do one. And then when I start telling them about it, they're like, if it was a program like that, you know, that would give them a good template of what to follow. And then I've run several of them, so, and then I went through the specialization to do the training for it, so.
Looks fun.
And I hooked up with Lisa and said, come on, let's get this started.
Let's do it. So looking at this as a whole, Roger, we feel we'd be able to accommodate a maximum of 25 participants for enrollment, and the program would be worthwhile for a minimum of 5. So anywhere between 5 to 25 participants. We're looking at charging this for a 10-week program that would be laid out week by week for individuals. The nice thing with this is that if somebody had said, I can't make next Tuesday's workout, we would provide the workout for them so they could actually do it on their own if need be. So the cost of what we're looking at would be $30 per person. There are a few minimal supplies that we'll need, but it's mostly for labor. And the intense, programming that we'll have to do to get these schedules put together for everybody. So with that, we recommend that the commission approve the Motivator training program. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Do you have any materials or equipment that you have to buy?
At this point, no, we don't have to. There might be some that would be nice to have, and we did discuss that with Chad Hill. But right now, we basically have the equipment at Patterson Park as well as just outdoor equipment, and some things we can actually use bricks and logs and things like that. So homemade equipment that is safe for use.
And are you looking to get this approved for this one time? Like, because Roger, I've known Roger forever. I know he does this and he's experienced. I'm very comfortable with Roger doing this. But next year, if you decide to do this and he's not here,
right?
I'm a little more skeptical.
Exactly. So, again, I don't know about that. This one-time event, even just to see if it takes off, how popular it would be. I think so. We're looking at this point for this one-time event, and if it's something that people are very interested in, it would be wonderful to offer it again, maybe in the spring for other types of terrain type races. That will probably depend on staff involved.
This will be just for this one time.
This is one time.
All right.
Is there a event in September that you're targeting, Roger?
Yes, there's an event it ends on the 13th. There is an event that starts, it's the one in Nashville, the Tough Mudder. It's for both days. It's going to be for the 15th and the 16th. Perfect. They can enter either event, and they can actually not even have to enter the full event. They can even do half of it. And then the following week, there's a Spartan. And then 2 weeks, I believe, before that, there's a mud run in Franklin. So all of these follow the same protocol to get through an event like that.
That is why we chose the time frame that
so
we
it kind of ends at that point, and you're done.
Yes.
And they have the point at that point to whether if they want to continue the training to do the race, register, and have fun, join as a team, do it as an individual. It would be up to the individual.
So the fee involved does not include a registration. We're leaving that up to each individual to register on their own if they so choose.
Any other questions? If not, do I have a motion that we approve the Motivator training program?
I move. Approve it.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Roger and Lisa.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Goes well.
This may be one that we want Chairman Jernigan to attend and monitor for us.
Go ahead and sign them up.
Okay, we'll go ahead and sign him up.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Okay. Becky, as usual, we look forward to your report on upcoming activities, and take us home.
Excuse me. Just have to pull up the correct slideshow.
Hopefully you got the right month that I didn't have when we started off.
It says April, so. All right. The first event we have coming up is a new event, and it is the Burrow Adventure Fest, and that is on Saturday, April 21st. And that will start with a hike at the Wilderness Station and go to some of our back country. There'll be live music, campfires, food, hammocking, slacklining, rock climbing, a kids zone. There's going to be a whole lot of activities for the family that day from 12 to 4 p.m. And we encourage anybody who's interested to go ahead to burrowadventurefest.com to buy some tickets in advance. And that's Saturday, April 21st. Next, we have Perform Murphysboro's next production is Madagascar, a musical adventure junior. And the performance dates for that are April 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. Tickets are on sale now at ticketpeak.com/Perform Murphysboro. We do encourage anyone who's interested to go ahead and get a ticket while they last. Our shows have been selling out, and that'll be a great show, which is at the end of April, Madagascar Junior. Then we have our 42nd annual Pioneer Days. That is Saturday, April 28th from 10 to 4 at Cannonsburg Village. It is free to attend. There are food vendors and other vendors there if you wanted to purchase anything, but it's free to just come and enjoy the cloggers, old-time music, crafters, hay rides, blacksmith demonstration, the Art League show, antique auto show, live music. There's lots going on at Cannonsburg that day for Pioneer Days on Saturday, April 28th from 10 to 4. Then on Sunday, May 6th, we have our Tennessee Valley Winds Spring Concert. That is hosted with our Friends of the Greenway. It's a free concert at 2 p.m. at Old Fort Park on Sunday, May 6th. Then we have our ever-popular Barfield Beach Party, which is Friday, May 11th. That starts at 5 p.m. out at Barfield Crescent Park. We have sand and dancing and games and activities. Bring your sand toys and just have a good time there. I'm having my days of the week wrong today. Friday, May 11th, starting at 5 p.m. at Barfield Crescent Park. Then also on Saturday, May 19th, we have our Murphysboro Track and Field. It's our local meet, and that is for those ages 7 to 14. You arrive at 8 o'clock to register. The meet starts at 10 a.m., and that's at Riverdale High School Track, and it is free to participate. And we have one other thing to mention that I don't have a slide. Our Miracle League is starting Saturday, April 14th. The games begin at 9 a.m., so we just want to encourage people to come on out and watch the league there out at SportsCom at the Miracle Fields. And just come and watch and cheer on the participants. And that starts Saturday, April 14th, and will then run for several weeks. And the games start at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And for information on all these programs and everything that we do, you can find that at murphysborotn.gov/parks on our website, or pick up our Spring Rec Connection, or follow one of our Facebook pages. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Any questions for Becky? Do we have any other comments or information for this commission?
I've got one item for other business. Would like to bring up to you guys and to Ms. Jackson. Had a few citizens contact me about some, I think they're called bollards or whatever they are on the greenway. The posts that we put in to keep cars from being able to enter the greenway, I think, is the primary use for those. The issue seems to be that the type of bollard that we put in at the time, you kind of can pull off a sleeve, but it leaves a little bit of a protrusion above the surface, and there's just some issues because you want them to be removable. Can you come up with some ideas for us and to look at some alternatives? Is that something that you're familiar with? And
I am, and we'd be happy to. Those were installed in 1996 and 1997, so I'm pleased to say there have been a lot of improvements made in the designs. I think we can come up with something that will leave that flush piece when the bollards are removed. It's an important safety consideration, one we'd be glad to prioritize.
Yeah, there's one of the pieces of it too that I know that I've heard is that the distance between the two posts, generally there's two posts there, is very difficult for a bicycle to get through, just with your legs kind of sticking out like that. It's a pretty tight cut in between. And so if we can kind of just look at the full, we obviously need to have those in places where we can keep cars off. I mean, if we can look at kind of the full picture of how can we minimize them, number one, I think would be the first thing. And number two, where we do need them, that we have the type that will be, appropriate distance away from one another, and maybe be flush mounted and all those kinds of things. Just a total picture of that might be appropriate after 20 years. And I think that would be a good investment on our part to maybe have, if we have to spend a few dollars to make that happen, to kind of update those for the next 20 years.
Be happy to look into it.
Thank you.
Any other business? I know we had a lot of new presenters today, so very good job.
Yep, well done, guys.
Well done. And if there's no other business, we stand adjourned.